So hi everyone, my name is Carla Hidalgo and today it's my pleasure to have you here once again. Okay, as we know we are finalizing the last unit of the semester, so I hope that you are doing well. I have a little question for you. I don't know if have you ever thought about the importance of sleep well. I know that this is not a very common question in our daily lives, but actually it's very important to know about it. Okay, so many of us, the most of the time and more in this quarantine, we are not sleeping well or not sleeping the exact hours that we need. And instead of that, we fell asleep late or even in early hours of the morning. So can you imagine that? This can happen for many reasons. For example, work, insomnia, studies, or even play games. Well, there are so many consequences in order to when we don't sleep well, and also a lot of benefits when we sleep well. Mathew Walker, that is the author of the book that I'm going to review today, he is a neuroscientist and a psychologist, and he shows us in this book those reasons on why we need to sleep well. So the name of the book is Why We Sleep, and the author is Mathew Walker, as I said before. I found this book as a recommendation of Bill Gates, and he says that this is the first sleep book that is led by a scientific expert, that is Mathew Walker. Mathew Walker is the professor and director of the UC Berkeley's Sleep and Neuroimagining Laboratory. In this book, he reveals the groundbreaking exploration of sleep. He has been studying this topic like about 20 years ago. And he explained this topic in a very easy way to understand so many things of the facts of sleep into a scientific perspective. Sleep is one of the most important but least understood aspects of our life, wellness, and also longevity. Until very recently, the science had no answer to the question of why we sleep, and also why we suffer such devastating health consequences when we don't sleep well. Mathew Walker gives us a new understanding of the vital importance of sleep well, and within the brain, sleep enriches our ability to learn, to memorize, to make logical decisions. Also, it recalibrates our emotions, our immune system, and regulates our metabolism and the appetite as well. The author answers a lot of important questions of sleep, like how do caffeine and alcohol affect our sleep, and what really happens during the rapid eye movement sleep, and also why do sleep patterns change into a lifetime. So for this reason, right now we're going to see a little bit more what is inside the book. So, right now we're going to see what is inside the book, Why We Sleep. And as a manner of review, first we're going to define what is sleep. Okay, the book says that every night your brain switches between two types of sleep, the non-rapid eye movement and the rapid eye movement. The first one is characterized by deep, slow brain waves that are a lot of times lower than when we are awake. And during this sleep, we experience a sensory blackout, and our cortex, that is the logical center of our brain, this is very relaxed. Well, then our entire brain is fully aligning to distill and transfer selected memories from our short-term memory to our long-term memory. Then the rapid eye movement is characterized by faster brainwave activity that is very similar to when we are awake, and our brain's visual, motor, memory, and emotional centers are activated. Also, a lot of pockets of feeling, information, memory, and motivation are combined into a giant movie screen that we know this as the dreams. So that it's like the most interesting fact in the first chapter that is defining what is sleep as well. So here you can see an image that is explaining the brainwave patterns when we are awake Then when we are in a non-rapid eye movement sleep, and then when we are in a rapid eye movement sleep. If you can see here, the brainwave patterns are rapid brainwaves, then in the non-rapid eye movement are deep and slow, and in the rapid eye movement are rapid brainwaves, very similar of being awake. If you can see here, then if you can see here, are very similar. So that means that when we are sleeping, we are into stages. First, we have the deep and slow brainwaves, and it's like when we are sleeping normally. Then when we enter to a deep stage, it's like when we are having a rapid eye movement sleep. It's when we have dreams. So basically, the non-rapid eye movement and the rapid eye movement sleep serve differently, but they are equally vital functions. And when we don't get full 8 hours of sleep, we lose out of chunks of non-rapid eye movement and rapid eye movement sleep. And this has a lot of serious repercussions. Well, then in another chapter we have wakefulness versus sleepiness. This one is, your wakefulness and need for sleep are regulated by two key factors, the circadian rhythm and the adenosine levels. First, we're going to see the circadian rhythm. This is our internal body clock, and this runs in an approximately 24-hour cycle. This is regulated by melatonin, which is produced by the suprachiasmatic nucleus in the brain, which calibrates our body clock but using the amount of light. So basically, the circadian rhythm, it's like how our body is adapted to our daily routine. For example, if we didn't sleep well, or if we change some things in our daily routine, the circadian rhythm is going to ruin it. Then we have the adenosine. This one is a chemical that makes us sleepy, and this builds up progressively when we are awake, and most people will feel sleep pressure after being awake for 12 to 18 hours. This is going to decrease as when we sleep, and it's usually purged fully after 8 hours of sleep. So this is very important to know, because this chemical is going to make us sleepy, and that is why it's very important. When we drink a lot of caffeine, this chemical is losing their power. So we are like adapting our body and forcing our body to being awake. So in another chapter, we have why we should sleep. First, we have some benefits of sleep well. We have that it improves our memory, it increases creativity, increases productivity, also helps in a lot of ways our health. But Walker said that this only can happen if we sleep every day at least 7 or 8 hours at night. Then we have what happens if we don't sleep well. Okay, in this part we have a lot of disadvantages in a long-term time with neurological and psychiatric conditions when we don't sleep well. For example, we have Alzheimer's disease, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, and even suicide. Also, it says that on every physiological system of the body, it has health issues. For example, cancer, heart attacks, infertility, weight gain, obesity, and also lack of immunity. So, if you want to have a good sleep time, you need to avoid those things. The electronic LEDs at late night when we are with the cell phones or with the computer or even watching TV. Also, we need to avoid the caffeine because these attack the adenosine, that is the chemical that makes us sleepy. Also, we need to avoid alcohol because this affects our circadian rhythm and also the adenosine levels. Then also we need to avoid the pills for sleep because these cause addiction And in a long-term time, we are not going to be able to sleep well without those pills. So, as a manner of conclusion, Mathew Walker has done a very good job writing this book because it's very interesting and illuminating. I really enjoyed reading it because it was like a different but easy way to understand a scientific topic with scientific facts. So, I hope that you learned something, and I really hope that you put in practice all the information and that you sleep well. That's all for my part today. Bye bye, everyone. Have a good one.